Millionaires will soon be made, but most people will get completely wrecked. So I'm going to talk about what's probably going to be happening in the coming months in the crypto market and how to avoid getting wrecked. And also I just brought into a brand new meme coin with potential to do 100x. So I'm going to talk about that later in the video. So the market right now is currently sitting pretty much at all-time highs, right? Almost. It's well over $3 trillion in market cap. And right now we're in greed at 67 according to CoinMarketCap, and this is just Bitcoin, right? We're not in an altcoin season, we're well towards the Bitcoin season side of things. The altcoins haven't really done anything yet, but I think pretty soon we are going to be seeing the altcoins run again, right? We did see the altcoins run a little bit in 2024. We definitely saw some good gains on a lot of different altcoins. I mean, I caught a bunch. I caught Pepe, Kaspa, or was that Kaspa was in 2023, I think. I caught Brett, and I caught a bunch of others, right? There was a bunch of altcoins that did really well in 2023 and 2024. So we did see some sort of altcoin season, but nothing really crazy yet. But we will see that. We will see that. And the reason I think this is because we look at the total market cap chart here. We broke out, right? This is the total market cap for crypto, but this is just because of Bitcoin. Go on to the total 2, which is the total 2 chart is the entire market cap of crypto minus Bitcoin. This did not break out yet, okay? The total 3 chart, which is the total market cap minus Bitcoin and Ethereum, this did not break out yet. It just rejected off the all-time highs. And the same story for the others chart, which is the total market cap excluding the top 10 cryptos, okay? None of these altcoin charts have broken out yet. It's literally only Bitcoin by itself that's running. These charts have hit the all-time highs, but they did not break through yet. And the Bitcoin dominance chart has just been going up and up and up, okay? We did briefly break beneath this trend line here towards the end of 2024, but obviously we didn't break beneath it very long. We've come back up now, and now we're just following the trend line up still. So that was a fake out. Eventually this is going to break down and the altcoin dominance is going to take over, okay? So Bitcoin dominance goes down and the altcoin dominance goes up, and this is what happened here. This was back in 2021. You see the Bitcoin dominance just dropped down, like smashed down super fast. Down here was where all the altcoins were running, okay? And that was the altcoin season. So all of these charts are right on the verge of breaking out. Okay, any moment all of these altcoin charts and the Bitcoin dominance is going to break down. This is getting so close to moving into a crazy altcoin season, and I believe it's coming eventually. Like, it has to happen at some point. Crypto is such an early thing. Bitcoin's only 16 years old. Altcoins are younger than Bitcoin, so crypto is really early. Like, we're going to get an altcoin season again at some point, and it's probably going to be in the coming months based on the 4-year cycle, right? So the Bitcoin chart, right? Last bull run, it peaked out at the end of 2021. 2017 bull run, it peaked out at the end of 2017, and there was even a bull run back here that ended at the end of 2013, right? But that was just Bitcoin, because altcoins didn't really exist back then, did they? But still, this is the 4-year cycle for Bitcoin, right? And altcoins follow Bitcoin. So based on that, this cycle is probably going to end the end of this year, right? October, November, December 2025 this year. That's probably when it's going to end, right? And we're on target for that right now. We're on track for that to happen. Right now, we just rejected off the blue line here, which is the previous tops of the previous bull runs in 2021 and 2017. We rejected off it back here at the end of 2024, and now we rejected off it again here, okay? But once we can break past this line, and then we can hold above it, we come back down for a retest and hold above it, okay? We're probably going to shoot up towards this yellow trend line, right? This yellow trend line's the trend line for this bull market, right? This is the upper trend line for this bull market, connecting all the tops. So we're probably going to reject off of that next time. And if this takes us to the end of 2025, this trend line actually takes us up to this red trend line, which is the tops of the previous bull markets based on the log chart, okay, the logarithmic chart, which takes us to around 150k. So that's a potential top. But I think Bitcoin's going to run up here somewhere and hold in this green box, and this is when the altcoins are going to start running, right? And then Bitcoin's probably going to dump, the altcoins are going to run hard, and then Bitcoin's probably going to dump more, and then altcoins are going to dump really fucking hard, okay? We already kind of saw it back here, how hard altcoins dumped back in here, right? The higher we go, the further we have to fall. So I'd highly consider taking profits when we get an altcoin run, okay, when we actually see the altcoins have nice rallies. I would definitely be considering taking some huge profits, because the bubble's going to burst at some point, right? We will go into a bear market, especially for altcoins. Even if Bitcoin doesn't have much of a bear market, I think the altcoins will have a big bear market, even if Bitcoin doesn't. So I'd maybe even consider selling the altcoins and then just sticking it in Bitcoin. Okay, or at least this is what I'm thinking about doing. I'm not suggesting that anybody should take this as advice, because I'm not a financial advisor, and this is absolutely not advice whatsoever. But me personally, I'm probably going to be considering taking my profits and then trying to get some decent entries into Bitcoin. Or maybe I'll just sit with money on the side and I'll just trade in the meantime wait for the bear market to reach lows, and I'll start reinvesting into cheap altcoins down in the bottom of the bear market. Depends what happens, right? It depends how everything plays out. Another thing that suggests that Bitcoin and crypto is going to go higher is if we compare Bitcoin to the M2 money supply chart, okay? So this yellow chart here is the M2 money supply. The M2 money supply is basically the cash and liquid assets in America, and Bitcoin tends to follow behind this. If you actually look at 2021, back in COVID, this is when money printing started happening, right? This is when the Fed started printing money and cutting interest rates to zero. So the money supply went way up, and then not long after that, like a matter of months after that, Bitcoin absolutely exploded. So Bitcoin just follows this, but it follows behind it, it lags behind it. And this makes sense, obviously, because the M2 money supply is literally money in circulation, okay? So obviously a lot of this money is going to end up in Bitcoin and crypto, okay? Makes sense, right? So we fast forward to now, we look at this part here, look, the M2 money supply pumped here. Not long after that, Bitcoin pumped. Even back here, when M2 money supply pumped, Bitcoin went sideways for a bit and then eventually followed after it. Right now, the M2 money supply has been going up, and Bitcoin has now started to follow suit, which has pushed us to the previous all-time high back in 2024. And now, based on Trump's tariffs and all of this stuff, it's likely that we're going to get more of an economic environment similar to what we had in 2021 with the money printing. Probably not as much as that, but we might get some interest rate cuts, and the Fed might loosen up on quantitative tightening, right, and then move into quantitative easing, which means that the money supply is going to be going up and Bitcoin's going to go higher based on this. So that's another thing to take into account. That tells us that Bitcoin and crypto is going to go higher. So yeah, overall my opinion is that Bitcoin's probably going to come up towards 150k. Altcoins are going to have an altcoin season somewhere around in this area. We're going to see all the big altcoins having crazy runs, or a lot of them. Some of them won't. So it's going to be a fun time. Just got to remember to take your profits before the bubble pops. And here's the new crypto that I bought. Keyboard Cat, 50 million market cap. It's on Coinbase, which is good. Other exchanges are probably going to follow suit, because Coinbase being the most regulated exchange out of all of them, the other exchanges are going to think this is a good coin, and then they're going to list it, the volume's going to go up, and it's going to make it easier to buy for people, the price will go up, right? So this is a good one, in my opinion, to hold for the bull run. The good thing about a coin that's listed on Coinbase is you know that it's probably not a scam, right? Because Coinbase is being the most regulated exchange, they've got professionals that basically evaluate these projects before they list it, right? They're not just going to list some scammy projects. Some of the smaller exchanges will list a lot of scammy projects, right? But Coinbase won't do that because they care about their reputation. This one definitely has a potential to do a 10x to 500 million market cap, and maybe even go to the billions. It could go to 5 billion, which would put it at 100x. So 100x potential this one, and a 10x is probably pretty easy to hit, to be honest, in the bull run. This is what it is. It's a meme from the 2000s. I've never seen this meme before, but that's what it is. And it's got a doxed founder. And this guy is actually the person that created the meme. So that's good. I like to see that a doxed founder in a meme coin. It just adds a lot of trust to it. And so yeah, doxed founder. It's listed on Coinbase. Low market cap. This can definitely blow up. If we compare this to Mudang, this coin is currently at 240 million market cap. And it went down, it crashed here, right? All the way down to 30 million market cap. And right before it pumped here, it was just under 40 million. And then it pumped up to 240 million. It actually pumped up to over 300 million. But right now it's at 240 million. So this is a meme coin that was listed on Coinbase, and that's what happened. It was listed on Coinbase up here somewhere, okay, and it dumped, and now it's pumped. We could see a similar thing for KeyCat, right? KeyCat could have a pump up to around 200, 300 million market cap in the short term, and in the peak of the bull run, maybe it can do 100x. And I actually sold my Reploy for this. So I bought this one down here at the bottom the other week, Reploy AI, and I got like a 5x pump on it, but I've sold it now just because there's no momentum for it, okay? It can still do well in the bull run, who knows? It pumped because Alex Becker spoke about it, who's one of the biggest influencers on crypto, right? And now it's just selling off. Yes, this was just dumping for ages, right? And I thought this was looking kind of like a bottom. I actually bought right here, right before the breakout, right? When Alex Becker decided to speak about it. So that was looking like a bottom to me, but now it's pumped after Alex Becker spoke about it. Now it's dumping again, okay? So it's dumping for ages. Alex Becker spoke about it, and now it's just starting to dump again. So there's obviously a lot of sell pressure with this one, whether that's from the team or people that invested in it up here, I don't know, but I don't like that it's selling off so fast, right? So I'm going to stay out of this one for a minute. So I basically swapped the money for this for KeyCat, because I made like a nice 5x trade on this, right? And now I swapped the profit, I swapped the gains for this and traded it into KeyCat. That's basically what I've done. And if this goes back down and then I think it's kind of hitting a bottom again, then maybe I'll get back into this one. But yeah, I don't like how it's selling off so much. So yeah, that's all for this video. Drop a like for good luck, subscribe to keep up my future videos. Thanks for watching.